What's up, everybody? It's Kevin here with another episode of If I Were. I think I finally have found my comfort zone here. We're filming right here in Crystal City. WeWork. Kai, if you want to kind of give a shot here. We're filming in the downstairs lobby. We actually, there's Bryson. You can pan it back. We actually were filming here on a Friday afternoon. We had to kick some people out that were playing ping pong. I don't think I was making any friends there, but we're gonna get right into it. I think the one thing that I want to address is now that we're handful of episodes in, not only do I want to thank you guys, but really I started this with a tripod, with an idea, tripod, a DSLR, one light, one microphone, and that's what we're doing. We're literally putting this together. Our intern Kai is editing them together fairly quickly, so I think we're finally onto something. So let's jump into it. We're gonna pick out another set of cards here. We did yellow last time. Let's do this green card here. So, ooh, this is a good one. So we're gonna shift gears a little bit. A lot of these episodes have been on marketing, storytelling, fundraising, things like that. Obviously, I love talking about career exploration and finding your niche. This one is specifically, if you're a first-year student, how do you find your niche, specifically in college? I personally relate to this story as when I went into my first year at Fairleigh Dickinson University all the way back in 2002. I was super shy coming from high school. I literally remember that first day that my parents dropped me off, and I was just kind of like, I think I knew maybe one person I met at orientation, but I was like, what am I getting into? What is about to happen here? And that first semester and even that first year, I did okay. I had some friends, I played in the golf team. First semester I did fairly well GPA-wise. Second semester, not so hot. And I think, you know, not that I was debating should I go back or not, but like it was definitely a transition, going from a set schedule of being a 17, 18-year-old in high school into college where you are an adult and have you can do what you want with your time, basically. But I think a way that I recommend first-year students finding their niche is to, one, realize what I just shared with my story, is this is a huge transition. So if you feel shy, uncomfortable, unsure where to get help, resources, how you're doing in classes, that is all normal, completely normal. But I think the second thing that I would recommend is whether it's a small university, large university, community college, one-year program, two-year program, whatever it is, you're going to get pelted with information, resources, clubs, organizations, people that want your attention and want you to get involved. So I think what you have to do is decide, once you have your academics balanced out, are you going to do almost like a yes challenge? Are you going to say yes to everything and say, yes, I'll go to this club meeting, yes, I'll go to this event, yes, I'll go meet with my professor, whatever it might be. Because I think if you do something like that, that'll actually start to help you cross off, I hated this, I like this, I don't like this, or I love that experience, or I met this person that became my best friend. So I think doing something like a 30-day challenge, just where you say yes to everything, could actually be helpful in finding your niche. I think the other thing to kind of find your niche in college, specifically as a first-year student, you need to remember to advocate for yourself. Again, whether your parents or siblings are super close and can help you out or not, it's on you to advocate. If you need help for academic advising, figuring out your meal card or where you're living in your residence hall, it's on you. You have to go and speak up and ask the right questions. Or if you have some type of issue that you need to address, whether it's a disability, a learning disability, whatever it might be, it's on you. You have to advocate for yourself. And I think the last thing that I would say is just relax and enjoy being a first-year student. There's so many opportunities that come along with being in college, but it's really about the relationships. That's why, going back to the 30-day challenge, I think it's super important that you try to meet as many people as possible, and that's when you can start to figure out what your core group of friends are, where you want to get involved, and what you really like doing. So there's one other tip that I want to share here, and I've done this with a lot of other first-year students, both in the class I teach at GW, as well as I think I've done this in some other workshops and keynotes, but we're going to envision that this cup of water is sand. So when I talk about everybody pelting you with different, hey, join this club, come to this event, take these classes, basically everybody is requiring your time. And as I said earlier, when you are an adult, you decide how you want to manage your time. And I think that's one of the key pieces of advice that so many parents, advisors, student affairs professionals drive home is time management. So my example here is, let's say this cup of water is filled with sand. So the sand is the fluff. This is, hey, going out on the weekend, going to these events, things that you don't really care about, right? And then a rock are the things that you do care about. Your classwork, your family, your best friend, your work, maybe you have a part-time job, whatever it might be. So let's say you have 5 or 6 rocks. The whole analogy, when you go to put in these big rocks full of sand, they're never gonna fit, they're gonna be in the top. And then all of a sudden when you have to run around and things get really, really crazy, the sand, the rocks, everything's gonna spill over like this. And what I normally tell people is to start with a little bit of sand or a little bit of fluff, and then you can throw all your rocks in together, so your family, your friends, your work, your studying, your classes, whatever it might be, all the important stuff goes in first, and then all the extracurricular stuff goes in afterwards and fills in those gaps. When you do it the opposite way, that's when things are gonna get stressful, you're gonna get homesick, you're gonna get scared, you're gonna get nervous, and so I think that's one analogy to keep in mind when you have to manage your time as a first-year student, as an 18-year-old living by yourself. So that's my tip on a first-year student trying to find their niche, and I really hope that this helps somebody out there, or maybe a first or second-year student that you guys have in college. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.